Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to give you 10 great tips on how to modify your RV so that it is more functional and more enjoyable. These tips will work for a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, as well as a motorhome, and they are semi-permanent solutions. So just in case you ever decide to revert everything back to their original condition, for example, if you decide to sell your RV, you might or might not want to do that. I love my current trailer, but I feel that whoever designed it is not a camper, because a lot of things are just not quite working the way they're supposed to. They're not comfortable, they're not functional, they're kind of annoying. So I have come up with some really great solutions. Tip number one is securing your cabinet. You cannot trust these cabinets. So these cabinets have food and probably lots of food, and the only thing that is keeping them secure, this one little thing goes inside and it clips, and that's it. And if you're going down on some windy roads, this can easily open up, and it has happened to me, and everything was all over the place. So you need to find a way so that they're not going to open. You could install some more of these down here, but I found a better solution. So this is what I did. I had this wood and I actually cut it to size. I saw these little grooves in them. I even painted it. You don't have to. I spray painted it to match this color, and then put these tiny pieces of rope on it. This way I can actually bring it up here and tie these together. Now this sort of fixes the situation, but not completely. So if this was to open up, it will open up about this far. There's no way this will move anymore, but you can't keep it completely closed, because somehow, it doesn't matter how tight I make this, there is some wiggle room. It's not because these grooves are here, I don't know, but I found another solution that is going to make it foolproof, but I will tell you about that in tip number 2. But this is one here. So I have the same thing with this cabinet. This one is longer. Somehow I find that one tie is enough. This is actually even better because they're further from each other and nothing will fall out. Now this cabinet here, I haven't really had a problem with this. This is tall and very long, and somehow this was stronger because you have one up here and one down here. But one time it did open up. Luckily nothing crazy had happened, but here you only have this one handle. So I put one of these screws in here. You just basically screw it in, and then I basically tie this, and it's not going anywhere. So this is something simple, but it will save you from a headache. Tip number 2, you need to add something inside your cabinets so that all those items are not shifting while you're in transit. As you know, you're driving around and you're making turns, everything can shift all over the place, and you don't want them to break or spill and just get knocked all over. So normally I have a lot more food in this cabinet than I have here, but it's not always packed. So this is what I'm doing. You probably have this packaging when you order something from Amazon or some other place. You can save these. This is air, so it's not going to be heavy, and you can just place them up here. Like I said, I normally would have a lot more food, but you can arrange these, you can cut them down to size, and you can put them up here so they basically fill your space. So now when I open everything will be shifted all the way up here, and when I start opening it, I would have to put my hand in and try to keep everything up. So what I did was I got this board and I put this in here. This was actually leftover, and I put it in here, and even if everything shifted up here, when I open it, I can just hold this and then push everything in and then take this off. Tip number 3, adding shelving to your cabinets. And this is mostly in the area where your kitchen and your living area is. Most of the time you probably store food and dishes and anything cooking related. So what I didn't like is that the cabinets and everything, it's this tall. So basically you're gonna put your food in it and you're going to have half of that space completely wasted. So for one, you don't want to waste any space, and for two, this actually makes it so much easier for everything to get knocked all around. So this was evident right away when I bought this RV. So these shelves were not here. This was it. This was the entire thing. So you can totally waste so much space, because look what I have here, and above it, it would just be empty space. It's totally annoying. I don't know what they were thinking. So it's the same exact way here. I added this shelf here because this would have been one shelf. Well, even a drink like this, if I put it here, above it, I have all that space that is just completely wasted. And then I added this shelf here. So I have one shelf divided in half, one shelf divided in half, and the bottom one, I kept it big, just in case I want to put a tall water bottle. And you see, even then, I have plenty of space. So here is the same thing. Now, I wasn't sure how to do this. I didn't want to start drilling things, and I couldn't even find the things that I wanted. So I got a board like this. This is where I got this left over. I went to Home Depot and measured everything, and I had them cut it to size. So I wanted it so that it fits all the way from one end to the other and the same width. And then I got these pieces of wood here. I also got them cut into size so that I could do this. And then I got double-sided tape, and you might laugh at this, but you know what, this works. So I put up double-sided tape here and here and here and here, and then also on the bottom and here. And then I actually have one on the side right there, and this way the shelf is just resting on it, and it's pretty thick, so that's enough. So I have that, I have one here, I have one on that side, one in the back, and I actually have two in the back right there, just so that it's enough. And I've had this trailer for over a year like this. This kind of, I don't know, warped a little, but it's not a big deal. Other than that, this works perfectly. And if I was to sell this trailer and someone said, I don't want all that, this is easily removable. It's just double-sided tape. It's not gonna do anything. Here is the same exact thing, and as you see, one of the shelves, I just made it tall enough so that I can have some canned goods here and some other smaller items. And as you see, I have this thing, and it was just the same, same height. I chose it like that. So they cut it, double-sided tape, and that's it. And then here is the same thing, and it works perfectly. I have made this in one more cabinet here, and this was a little bit trickier because I didn't want to put it all the way across, so I just wanted it for half. So I have one piece of wood here, one there, and one in the back, and then this is on top. But this way I could have some smaller things here and on the top, and here I usually have blankets and pillows and towels and things. So I think this is really neat. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. Number 4, if you have closets by your bed, you're lucky, because it's a great way to keep your clothes organized. You can actually put them on hangers and hang them up and everything. But I found it so annoying that the hanger rod where they put it, it's actually not in the middle, so one side sticks out too much, and if I close the door, it kind of knocks everything a little bit in, and it was just totally bugging me. So this is a very easy solution. You just need either a screwdriver or a drill, and you're basically moving that hanger holder just a little bit inside, and I actually moved it a little bit above because there was a lot of space up there, and why not utilize it? Another thing I did on the other side, I wanted to add shelves so that I can fold some items and I can basically, you know, use it better, because not everything has to be on a hanger. But I didn't want to make a complete permanent change, and I thought if I mess it up, it's going to look really bad and I can't undo it. So I basically had this organizer already in my closet at home, and I just hung it. It's perfect. You could actually fold up all your clothing items in your other closet. Usually you have two, or if you have one longer one, then it can just go on one side, and problem solved. Tip number 5. This is one of my favorites. In this RV, I feel that there are so many spaces that cannot be used because they're sort of empty boxes. So I think one of these spaces is for a TV, which I will never get. I can't put anything there because while I'm driving, it's just gonna get knocked all over. And I have a lot of these spaces, a lot. So this is what I did. I bought these hooks and I bought these netting. So this is basically motorcycle netting. It looks like this. It's called motorcycle cargo net, and this is what it's supposed to do, right? So it's pretty flexible, and it gives you the size. I think this is the smallest one you could buy. They have really big ones. They even have the ones that would go across your truck, and I actually removed these hooks from them. I bought 2 of them, so they had different kinds of hooks. I removed them. I can always use them some other time, but basically this way I can just put this here, and I could put food items here that are not very heavy. For example, a loaf of bread, chips, you know, this is an ice cube tray, things like that, and they will not come out. If I was a little bit worried, I would put more hooks here and here, but this is actually very secure. And the same thing here, I'm able to put up blankets and towels and magazines and things like that. I could put one more hook here, I guess. I just ran out of them. I could also put it on the ceiling, but I didn't think that was necessary. And I could put one here, but this is pretty good. So depending on the items you will put in there and how much they would shift, you could put more hooks, and that's it. So I think this is very useful. I will definitely keep this in mind for any RVs I ever have. And this here is one I haven't done yet because I haven't found anything to put in there. Tip number 6, if you are a pet owner, whether it's dogs or cats, then you're gonna love this. Where your bed is, you can actually make a pet area under your bed. If you have a Murphy bed, I'm not sure if it would work, but most RVs have a permanent bed, and this is very simple and very quick to make it. You barely need any tools. I actually made a video about this, so here's the link above. Just go ahead and click on that, and there I walk you through it. This can simply be undone. You just need to put the board back if you keep the original one. But if you ever sell your RV and the new owner doesn't have any pets, they can simply use it for storage. Originally, it is for storage. You would need to, you know, lift up your bed and everything. This is so much easier. It's actually open. You could put some crates in there, some sleeping bags, whatever. So you haven't actually ruined anything, just in case somebody else comes along. Tip number 7. Don't be afraid to make your RV kind of like your home. You can definitely put up hooks, towel holders, paper towel holders, things like that. Command is a company that now makes all kinds of great hooks. Some of them can actually take a lot of weight, and it's simply using a tape. So it is definitely not permanent. You can easily remove it. So I actually have some hooks for my keys and towels and jackets and things like that. You could actually use some of those hooks you would use at home, and you can just simply, you know, screw it in the wall with a drill or screwdriver. And I've done that for some of my coats. I did that for my paper towel holder and a towel rack in the bathroom. I also added some shelves, for example, shelves for my spices, and also added some in the bathroom, so this way I can be better organized. Tip number 8. My first RV had the vent for heaters, close to the floor, but they were vertical, so they were basically giving out the air this way, and I thought that was fantastic. This RV, I don't know what they were thinking, but it's on the floor, so yes, the heat will be coming off from the floor, but this whole time I'm not using the heat. All the dust and everything just goes in there, and then I try to use a vacuum cleaner, and the one I used, it doesn't really have that strong suction. It was a pain in the butt to clean it, so I simply taped it over. It's clear tape, you can't even see it, and easy. I can sweep it, I can mop it, it's perfect. Tip number 9. This is also one of my favorites. So this bed that I have came with a mattress, as all RVs do, but this mattress was so flimsy. I mean, I spent one night on it and it was already caving in. It was I don't know what it was. It was not even enough for a toddler. So I threw it out and I purchased a memory foam topper. So this is not the whole mattress, because that will be like $800-900 and super heavy. And with an RV, you don't want to add any more weight than you have to. So this is actually a topper. It's just a few inches, but oh my God, I sleep better in my RV than I sleep at home, because under the bed, it's actually plywood. It's level, it's straight, it's hard, it's flat. And then I have my memory foam on it. I have the best night sleeps in here, so it's definitely worth it. If you sell your RV, you can either keep the mattress and then you can use it at home, or you'll find a way to use it, or you could actually see the new owners if they would want it, or they could bring their own mattress in. So this is a really, really good tip, in my opinion. And finally, tip number 10. This is not really a modification or any kind of change you're doing here, but I wanted to throw this in here. I think this is a useful tip for how to level your trailer. It's a very simple way to do it. So you buy a level, right? It could be a big one, it could be really small, and you put it on the floor next to your front door. Most of the time, your trailer's door will be kind of in the middle. You want to just put it in there, put it aside so it's not in the way, and when you get to your destination, before you actually unhook your trailer, you open up your door, put your level up, and you look at it. And you can try to set your jacks and see how everything is. And if it's really off, then maybe you're actually parking on an area where it's not going to work so well. You might need to move it a little bit. One of your tires might be in a little hole or whatever, or you might have to get on one of those leveling boxes. But you want to do all this before you unhook your trailer, because I have done that before. I got to my destination, I said, okay, we are good. I unhooked it, and then I'm trying to set the jacks down, and it was just a little bit, on a slope, and it's not a big deal, but might as well make it perfect. So this way you just set it up and see if you need to move it or not, or whatever you have to do. So this is basically it. I'm hoping that you find this video helpful. Try out my suggestions if you're annoyed by the same things, and also leave me a comment if they worked, if you have any questions, or if you have suggestions I haven't covered. I'm sure you do, because there are a million different things you can do to these RVs, and so far I have just fixed the ones that I had a problem with. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.